How's it going? It's Rocky, your full-time stay-at-home dad trading futures for a living. Welcome to week number 33 on my trading journey in the year 2025. I am happy to say that I am building up on my profits. This week, thankfully, we're back in the green again at $1,806.06. And if you look at the chart here that I've been posting, the trajectory has been pretty great for the last 8 weeks or so. But if you think about it, my year to date, it's at $12,361.56, which is on its own pretty impressive. But if we did compare it to a regular job, especially in a high cost of living area, it's already August and I've only made $12,000 so far. So in reality, it's tough to live off of that income. So I am very thankful that I had about a year's worth of cash that allows me to work on my craft, to improve on this industry, because it is what I want to keep doing full time moving forward, because it gives me a priceless experience, the freedom to be able to raise my daughter while doing this, to still provide for the family. And before I go through the rest of my content, just a quick disclaimer. This is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. So on the right here, I post daily on just my best trades and some thoughts that I have for that day. I'm just going to breeze through the last 5 days or so, and I'll go through and do an analysis on my best trade for the week. So for Friday, my best trade was 40 points, 2 total wins, which I'm happy with those 2 trades, because towards power hour, I actually was considering trading some more just to pass my evaluation. Because if we look here, this is my Ninja Trader, and the reason that I trade the Ninja Trader with my Thinkorswim is because I lead with a self-funded live account here. The account is up to $4,700, which I'm pretty happy with. And with this one, I am trading 24 evals. And the 24 evals here is one with my funded futures. And then we have 3 here with Trade Day. And then we have 20 here with Apex. And if we look at the balances here, with my funded futures, the target that I need to hit to pass this evaluation is $53,000. So a couple $100 off from there and we'll be able to pass it. With Trade Day, I have a bit more to go through, about 1,000 left. So I think I needed to hit 51,500 on this to be able to pass it. And then for Apex, which are all static accounts, I need to hit $102,000 for it to be funded. What's great though that I'm doing differently this time around as opposed to the failures I've had in the past is that my emphasis is on my self-funded live account. So right now, I don't have this pressure to try to pass the eval or whatnot, because all I'm really focusing on is trading my self-funded live account properly, because that's the one that is real money. And what I'm hoping for is all this process, all this discipline that I've been developing, not just this year, but the past few years that I've been doing this, that I'll be able to expand and really have a exponential growth once all of these evals are funded. But the psychology is really different when you're just trading evals compared to trading the funded account. So we'll see if I'll be able to maintain the existing psychology or the existing patience that I've been having. And the only way that I can do that again is just focusing on my self-funded live account and ignoring the rest of the other accounts. And then here, I made sure that I paid myself. So I paid myself $4,000 this week because I missed a withdrawal last week. and I did withdraw more than what I earned for the past 2 weeks, but a lot of that is because I have a big expense that's coming up, so I need to pay the bills, and I'm getting to this habit to pretty much withdraw every week to mimic what I used to have when I had a paycheck. And what's great about this is it's my own money, right? So I withdrew it. There's no approvals from any third party other than from my brokerage, Charles Schwab. They probably have to double check that I do have the right amount of cash that I can transfer. But what's great about this is I sent the withdrawal today, Friday, around the close of the US market, so near 1 p.m. Pacific time. And I checked my checking account earlier today, and you can see right here that that money is already in my account. So quite happy with that. Again, it says here that's the withdrawal from Schwab brokerage, and up here just some proof that this is my checking account. So the goal with this checking account is really to at least hold about 3 months worth of expenses, especially since I don't have stable fixed income like you would if you had a W-2. I do have savings in there as well. So my goal eventually is to have 24 months worth of cash in a high yield savings account. So that way I don't have this pressure to really force or trade aggressively to a point that I am being irresponsible with it. So the ability to have a runway of cash when you want to be a full-time trader, trust me, it's really, really quite important. Next, I'm gonna scroll along for a week. On Thursday, I did not trade, going through something personal. So instead of being emotional while trading, which have blown up my accounts in the past, I decided to take a break. So that's a great maturity on my end. And on Wednesday, this was my best trade at 112 points for my Thinkorswim, and it was 105 on NinjaTrader because I am trading the same trades in both accounts. And with this one, I'm just going to bring up Thinkorswim. We're going to go look at that trade. Zoom in right there on the tick base, and on the time base I'm gonna zoom in right there. Okay, and then with these two trades, if you were ever curious about my strategy, please feel free to check out a link above that I have. I won't go through details of that strategy because I honestly, people don't really care about that aspect of it, and I'm not trying to convince anyone to use my strategy anyway. But the thing that I just wanted to point out here is my entry was at 44,857. I'm gonna draw that line here just so visually you can see where that is. 488.57 is right there. Okay, so what was great about this is very minimal drawdown, just on the first candle actually. And then moving forward, what I do after I enter is I have an OCO. OCO is one cancels the other order, so it's a bracket order. And what I normally have is I have a stop loss of 100 points. 100 points is roughly 44,757. Draw that out right here. Okay, so that's where 44,757 is. We'll draw it on this side as well, so you can sort of visualize that this trade was actually quite beautiful. I don't get too much trades like this, but when it happens, I'm quite happy with it. Can't even really zoom that out a bit. There you go. So 44,757 is there. So with my target, it's normally 125 points above my entry. So 44,857 plus 125, that's 44,982. So we'll draw where 44,982 is. So 44,982. There's that line right there. I'll draw it in here too, 44,982. And then something that you probably notice here, I'm going to zoom in on the time base. It's a lot clearer to see. You can see on the top here that there's a wick. What does that mean? If you pay attention to this number right here, which is the high, and I'm gonna put the mouse on this candle, and on this candle here you can see that the peak is at 45,003. So in theory I did hit my target a bit more above it actually. However, how I normally trade is when a trade is going on the direction that I like, I normally just place a trailing stop on the bottom, and on the limit side on the top, I adjust it. So that's the reason why, you know, I guess you could say I could have exited at my target at 82, but I wanted to give it an opportunity to go further. But it was my trailing stop that didn't hit the 969 exit, and nothing wrong with that. That's just ideally the way I like to trade, so quite happy with it. Of course, hindsight, you look to the right here, there could have been a lot more, but I tell myself there's a dip that occurred here. It could have gone down, could have gone worse, but the important part is I did exit when the trend changed. So anyway, give me some comments on this, give me some feedback if you have any questions. Again, if you were curious what strategy I use, I'll just put a link up above. Check out the video if you are interested. And last but not least, these were my trades for both Monday and Tuesday. I had a lot of errands, so I wasn't able to post on Monday. But essentially, in these 2 days, that's the only time that I actually had a losing trade. And that losing trade was 45 points. But the important part from those 2 days is net. I was still positive, thankfully, because I had 3 total trades where 2 of them were a win, and the win was 85 points. So getting better at, again, focusing on just the points and not the dollar value from trading. All right, next is I'm going to jump into the account statement because I want to explain where these numbers come from. The numbers from Thinkorswim, which is $904.10, and the numbers from NinjaTrader, which is $901.96. Here's the account statement for the week on Thinkorswim. What I'm showing here is from this past Sunday, August 10th, to today. I'm recording it Friday, August 15th. And based on this statement here, which I already mentioned earlier, I did withdraw $4,000 from the account. So I wanted to be able to show that here, that here we go. I withdrew $4,000 from the account. And what we'll do is we'll add that value to the ending cash. So this is the cleanest way I can show how we can calculate the total cash. So this is the value that we'll be looking at. And I'm going to change the dates from here. What we're going to look at is the total cash from August 15th, and I am just going to disable my privacy from here. So next I am going to disable the privacy, and then from this part we can then see what my ending cash. So with the calculator here, we can calculate how we did for the week. Our ending cash is $42,328.92, but I did withdraw $4,000 from the account, so we'll add that there. And then next we will subtract what our starting cash was. So going back up here again on the calendar, what we'll do is we'll go back to August 10th, which was this past Sunday. So that value there, you can see it changed. So our starting cash was $45,424.82. That gave us a total of $904.10 for the Thinkorswim. And if we go back to the posts that I made today, you can see that the values for Thinkorswim do match at $904.10. Next, we're gonna jump into NinjaTrader. So on NinjaTrader, this is the account that I use to lead and copy trade 24 other accounts. And from here, we can look at our performance, going through the statements, look at the account balance history, and we're gonna look at this week. I'm just gonna change the start date to August 9th, and we're gonna run this and bring the calculator here. Our ending cash was $4,736.20, and our starting cash was $3,834.24. So for NinjaTrader, it's pretty close to my performance with Thinkorswim. It was $901.96, and if you look at my posts, that's where I came up with the value of $901.96 for a total of $1,806.06 for week number 33. So thank you for your time and following me with this journey. I hope by showing all of this, I show you what the reality is for someone who's, an average trader, where I don't have a big following, I'm not selling any courses, and somehow I'm still making it work just with my trading alone. And the greatest part is I get to take care of my daughter full time at home, get to see her hopefully walk soon. It's a blessing that I am not taking for granted, and I'm quite happy that I'm able to do this. Granted, it's nowhere close to what my engineering salary used to be, but we are getting to that point, and that is our goal. All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. I shall see you on the next one.